Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Salette Sports Network for tonight's game between the Salette Lions and the Milford Bearcats. We're getting the starting lineups right now. For the Bearcats, number 2, Sawyer LaFoon, number 15, Peyton Harwood, number 44, Tevin Longest, number 10, RJ Mann, and number 33, Aiden Portwood.
And coming in for your Salette lineup, coming in with the captain, Augustin Blood, number 3, number 5, Blaze Laronia, small point guard, number 10, William Fitzpatrick, number 11, Eamon Martin, and last but not least, number 22, our big man down in the post, Charles Prather.
So this game, of course, the notable absence is the usual captain, number 24, Matthew Romero. He sustained an ankle injury in the last game against Danville, but he's been getting better quickly, so hopefully we'll see him back in the lineup for the next game against Westville, because there's quite a big gap in between this game and next game. But for this game, Blaze Laronia taking a spot out there on the court, which means that Eamon Martin's going to be moving to the backcourt. He'll be taking over as shooting guard.
The Lions going to have to make that small adjustment of having 3 men down in the post at the beginning of this game. They sometimes have it later on as the game goes on, but they're going to have to quickly adjust to that with only 2, you could say, shooting guards out there.
Lions in their zone defense as the ball moves around. It gets down to the paint to number 15, Peyton Harwood. Sawyer LaFoon, nice save to keep it from going out of bounds, but Milford unable to capitalize on it, and it's going to be Lions ball for the first time this game, half a minute into the first quarter. Fitzpatrick brings it up the court, sends Eamon into position. He gives it to Eamon. Eamon looking for some movement to find someone. He does find Blaze. Ball tipped away by LaFoon. Recovered by Aiden Portwood. He takes it down. Fitzpatrick's there to play defense, but he is able to break up the shot just by his presence, and the ball rebounded by Gus Blood.
Good play there by William Fitzpatrick. No foul called on him. He was able to keep it a clean play and prevent the shot. It's always what we like to see. As now he holds it down on the wing, passes it up top to Blaze Laronia. Swings it to Fitzpatrick, who's trying to find an open pass. Gus Blood shoots out, gets it over to Blaze Laronia as the ball's tipped by Sawyer, and that's going to stay with the Lions.
Ball comes in now to Fitzpatrick. He dribbles to the corner and gets double teamed. He finds Eamon right there off that double team in the corner. The Lions need to swing it quickly to capitalize on the one man that's going to be open in the corner, but they didn't do it there. Now Eamon with a cross-court pass to Fitzpatrick. Eamon with it again at the top of the key. Crazies chanting that they want someone to take a shot. Eamon pump fakes, dribbles baseline, goes in. He goes up for the layup, goes down hard. No foul called. Portwood drives in for Milford and is going to draw a foul, but miss his layup.
And right now I was watching Augustin Blood down in the paint, and he was really just backing his player up, trying to get the ball, and the Lions, they're going to really have to take the advantage right here. They have a little bit of size down in the paint. Point guards have to find a way to get it to them down low where they can just use their strength and their little bit of height that they have and go into the paint and put some points up. Last game against Danville, our shots were not falling. Hopefully that can be different this game, especially coming from Eamon. It might have just been one of his off nights. He's usually one of our best shooters out there. We'll see how he can adapt to this game.
Portwood's 2 free throws are both good to put Milford up. First points of the game, 2-0. Laronia with it now at the wing. Screen set by Gus Blood. Blaze looking, dribbling. Gets it away, but turns it over into the hands of RJ Mann. Fitzpatrick picks up the steal. Blaze with it again. Driving in. Eamon was open, but there was players in between him and Blaze, so he had the open look, but the pass couldn't get there. Charles now turns it over off the pass. A lot of turnovers coming from the Lions early in the game. Sawyer Lafroom shoots from deep, no good. Gus Blood with a rebound. Lafroom's a very dangerous three-point shooter. The Lions have to lock him down if they want to win.
And the Lions got to watch that double teaming. Well, whenever they're going anywhere towards the baseline, they're being double teamed, and they got to watch out for that. Blaze has gotten the ball, just poked away from him twice. This ball is thrown way over Fitzpatrick's head by Charles Prather as Coach Spezia calls a timeout to try to figure out what's wrong with the team right now. Defense, they've held Milford 2 points. That's good so far. They've just been struggling on the offensive side of the floor. They're trying to figure out how to get the ball around. They're trying to figure out what their rhythm is going to be for getting the ball into the hoop. If that's from jump shots, the three-point line, hopefully down in the paint. That's going to be a big one for us, especially since we do have a major height advantage this game with our 3 big players in right now. And as you said, Matthew's not playing tonight. And one of the things that we're losing from Matthew is Matthew was not a particularly high-scoring player, but he set up the offense a lot. He was able to move the ball around. He was also, in addition to the defense, and we did lose that tonight, so hopefully we can see that Blaze is able to step in those shoes, fulfill that role, and Eamon and Fitzpatrick can pick up on any slack from the shooting that Matthew was able to give to the team. And
originally, at the very beginning of the season, we were running with this lineup except Romero in as point guard for Fitzpatrick. And I remember early in the season, Charles Prather saying that he wanted to see the lineup that we've been playing with for the rest of the season, with Eamon, Matt, and Fitzpatrick as the 3 guards. He wanted to see that lineup, and that's the lineup that's been working. This lineup that's in right now has definitely struggled just because Eamon has to take more of a passing role, so he can't be taking as many shots as the Lions would probably like him to.
And right there on defense, great play by the defense. 3 defenders jumped up on the offense. We're able to get the ball thrown out of bounds. It's their ball with Blaze down in the post with it, over to Eamon Martin in the corner. Dribbles to the middle, gives it to Fitzpatrick. Back to Eamon Martin, holding on to it, swings it left, keeping it, makes space for himself, drives, pulls back out, gives it to Eamon Martin. Way outside the perimeter, gives it to Gus Blood in the high post, bounces off his leg, he recovers it, now back to Fitzpatrick. Eamon Martin, the ball staying mostly outside the perimeter right now, as it's back in the hands of William Fitzpatrick. Over to Eamon Martin, as Coach Spezia is going to call another time.
Did so much to having only 2 big men that putting Blaze in there as the 3rd guy probably makes it a little bit unusual for Charles and Gus.
I just don't understand how we're not getting into the post right now. I mean, I've seen Gus just botting up his player and getting open space, but I just think that the passers, like Fitzpatrick and Eamon, are just getting hassled out there, and they're just having a lot of pressure, and they're not able to see those passes into the paint.
I also think that because of the offense that we're running, the big men are coming out of the paint, outside the arc a lot, and, you know, I don't think that that's the right thing to do right now, just because we have the size advantage. We should play it by keeping them down low, but like right there you see Charles out to the top of the key. Ball tipped away now by Portwood, but Eamon recovers it. He's pushing it up the court quickly. Blaze is open for 3. He fakes 2 defenders out. Now he gets trapped by 3, and he's going to bounce it off the Milford player's leg out of bounds. Smart play there.
That's a smart IQ basketball play there by Blaze Laronia. Joseph Dertola used to do that a lot last season, and it's great to see that under that high-stress situation, Blaze only had 5 seconds to get rid of the ball. Couldn't find an open man, so threw it off the legs of the defender, and it gave the Lions another chance to score.
Rylan Taw has come into the game for Blaze after that last possession. He turns it over quickly, though. Rylan had a great JV game. He scored a lot of points off fast breaks, and that was a very slow-paced game, so he's got to adapt to the pace of play set tonight as RJ Mann drains a 3 for the Bearcats.
Lions trying again on the offensive side of the floor. Another pass almost picked off. However, Eamon gets his hands on it, who now gives it to Ryland. Over into the corner to Fitzpatrick, who drives up to the top of the perimeter and bounces it to Eamon Martin. Calls for the postman to come up, gives it to Ryland Taw on the right wing. Fakes a pass to Charles, gives it to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick holds it, gets the opening, gives it back out to Ryland. Nice pass into Charles Prather, spins around, trying to find the hoop, doesn't get it. Now Ryland gives it to Fitzpatrick, who holds it on the right wing. Drives in to the perimeter, pulls back out. And William Fitzpatrick's going to be called for the travel. And another turnover for the Lions. I don't know how many shot attempts there have been, but I definitely know that there have been a lot more turnovers than shot attempts, and the Lions just need to clean that up. They cannot afford to keep turning the ball over like this, especially in the first quarter, as Milford, at the pace they're going at, is going to continue to score even if it's slow.
Right, that's 5 turnovers already in the game for the Lions. Ball goes to the corner. Aiden Portwood with the shot. His shot's no good. No one secures the rebound, and it's going to be Lions ball.
And a big reason for all these turnovers is the Lions passing. They're not pass faking. They're passing over their heads, and Milford are they're just sticking their hands up, blocking the passes, and their teammates are recovering it. Eamon gets the open lane. The pass is too late. Charles Prather is going to make a slow pass to Eamon that's picked off, and then he's going to foul number 5 for Milford.
That's Charles' second foul. He's the only one on the team right now carrying any fouls. LaFoon brings up the court now for the Lions. Salette still has yet to score. Gavin Shunk going to take a deep 3 off target, but the ball rebounded by LaFoon. It got tipped to him, and he tries to put up a shot, no good. Prather pulls down the rebound.
A great aggressive rebound there from Charles. Charles is not looking too happy right now. He wants points on the board as he gives it to Gus, who goes in. His shot's blocked, almost gets his own rebound. But Milford's going to come up with it as they quickly bring it down to the other end of the court. Quick dish off, shot from the corner, no good. Rebound, William Fitzpatrick. And it's back in the hands of Eamon Martin. The Lions still with no points on the board, as Ryland has it way outside the perimeter, gives it to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick takes a dribble, and his ball is tipped away, and he recovers it. Goes back with Ryland and Charles both in the corner, and the ball, another pass is deflected. William Fitzpatrick telegraphing his pass to Eamon, which is easily deflected. However, luckily it goes out of bounds. And the Lions are going to get another opportunity.
Portwood is just doing a great job for the Bearcats, tipping the passes away. And what that means for the Lions is just that they're having such trouble creating any shots. They're having enough trouble just moving the offense, and there Portwood forces a jump ball. He's got quick hands, and he's using that to the Bearcats' advantage.
And I did not watch the JV game, but I came in at the end, and it was but it was a low-scoring game. And I was told that was due to the defenses on both sides, so maybe that's just going to turn over to this varsity game. The Lions are just going to have to keep their defense up. As Eamon fakes the shot, nice fake there, and he's going to sink it, a jumper for the first 2 points in this ball game for the Lions with 24 seconds left on the clock. They get on the board before the first quarter ends. Shot no good by Milford as 5 takes another shot, bounces off the rim, another offensive rebounds, and that shot's good.
9 seconds left in the game. Crazy start counting down to let the team know so that they don't have to look at the scoreboard. 3 seconds left. Charles puts up a shot, no good, but he gets fouled. So he's going to head to the line.
And nice play there by Charles. It was unlikely that he was going to make it, but kind of walked into his defender and drew the foul. That's kind of exactly what the Lions needed. And as now he's at the free throw line to shoot 2 shots to raise the score by 2. He's going to miss his first one. Looks a little frustrated after that. However, he gets a second opportunity to make the score 7-3. And he does make that one, as the first quarter will come to an end. And a slow first quarter at that. The score 7-3.
So La Salette, if you remember from last season, played Milford 3 times. The first time they played was in the St. Joe Ogden tournament. They won that game in large part due to the play of Matthew Romero, who was a junior at the time, coming off the bench. And then La Salette played Milford 2 more times, both of them at Milford. The first game was a neutral game. It was a tournament game, but the second 2 games both at Milford, and we lost both of them. Very close games. The last game went into overtime, and what killed the Lions was the 3-point shooting from Sawyer Laffoon. He made, I believe, 4 3-pointers in that game, especially at the end. It just seemed like he couldn't miss. So that's something the Lions need to watch as this game winds down, is that Laffoon is a clutch player, and if they don't guard him behind the arc, he will score points for the Bearcats.
And I think the Lions have learned from their past experiences, and it looks like they are closing Latoon out at the perimeter and preventing him from taking any shots, which is good. They just got to keep that up for the rest of the game. As a 3 from Milford is no good, and the ball is going to go off the knees of Rylands. And it's going to be Milford's ball.
Ball goes to Laffoon now in the corner. He dribbles around, finds RJ Mann. Now Laffoon takes the 3, he misses. Gus Blood pulls down that rebound. Amon brings up the court quickly, picks up his dribble, but gets the pass off to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick takes a jumper from the free throw line. It's no good, but he gets his own rebound after it was tipped away by a Milford player. Ball into Charles now at the elbow. Amon driving in. He runs into the trap. Amon for 3. No good. Gus fights for the rebound but can't get it.
And the Lions finally starting to secure their passes. They're able to take more shots now, getting rebounds, which is good. They needed to correct their sloppy passes before it became a real problem for them. As Latoon gets his pass tipped by Amon, and a shot is no good by Milford in the corners. Charles gets a fast breakaway, gets both his defenders off their feet, and easily lays in a basket for 2. Great play there, great jump stop by Charles Prather.
I don't know if that play ever works any better than it did right there. He had 2 players on either side of them, and they both flew past him, and he had an open layup. And then on the other end, the Lions forced the turnover, and they're going to get the ball back, only down by 2 now, 7-5.
The momentum swinging in the way of the Lions, as number 4 for Milford is going to foul the Lions. It's going to be the Lions' ball underneath the hoop.
Amon inbounds, nice no-look pass to the corner to Fitzpatrick, and he drains the 3! What a play, the inbound. I don't think I've seen that good of an inbounds pass all year. Amon was looking the other way and passed it right to Fitz, and he drained that 3 to put the Lions in the lead 8-7.
And the gym immediately becomes quiet as the foul's drawn by Augustin. The foul's on Augustin Blood, excuse me. Milford's going to the line to shoot 2 points as the momentum quickly swung in the Lions' direction. It kind of hesitates as Gus Blood causes a foul, and the first free throw is good, tying the game.
Aiden Portwood sinks both his free throws to give the Bearcats the ball back. The Milford coach calls a timeout before the Lions can inbound, or no he doesn't. I don't know why I think the coach just wanted a substitute in, so he got the game to stop. Now Amon looking for something. The Bearcats into the full court press. Fitzpatrick turns it over. He tried to spin, and the ball was stolen by RJ Mann. Now he's going to put it in to make the score 11-8.
And Milford bringing the full court press. The Lions first time, they get the ball stolen from them, but second time they easily break it. Eamon walks across the 10-second line. And now in the hands of William Fitzpatrick, gets his defender off his feet, but doesn't pass it to Ryland. Gus Blood gets the ball, had the back door, doesn't take it. Now Ryland Taw over to the corner to Charles Prather, who's outside the perimeter. Ball tipped, can't throw it over the heads of Milford. We should have learned that in the first quarter. Milford's ball in the corner, shot is good by number 5, RJ Mann. And Coach Spezia is going to call a timeout after the small defensive blunder on the Lions' defensive side. The corner was left open in the quick transition. And the 3 is taken and made, bringing the score 14-8. The Lions trailing. The Lions definitely have improved on the offensive side. However, their defense has kind of weakened a little bit. They're kind of leaving the perimeter open. They need to close that out. Milford is a three-point shooting team.
Both coaches talking over with their players. Now the Lions bring it out of the huddle, and the crazy starts to get loud again as both teams come out onto the court.
Milford keeping the full court press. Lions gonna have to break that, not let any quick turnovers. The ball is intercepted by Mann. Pass was attempted for Gus Blood. The shot's no good. Charles Prather comes up with the rebounds. Eamon Martin taking the ball across the 10-second line. Gives it to Fitzpatrick. Over to Charles Prather out on the wing. Who now finds Gus Blood in the high post. Spins around, gives it to Fitzpatrick. The ball is deflected by number 33, Aiden Portwood. As Daniel Bergman checks into the game for Ryland Taw. He's number 15. Lions ball. Amen, baseline, inbounding it to Fitzpatrick, who slows things down and accepts the screen from Gus Blood. Now in the wing to Daniel Bergman, who gets the ball to Eamon Martin. Spin move, met by a defender, gets it back out to Fitzpatrick. Over to Daniel Bergman now, and now to the corner. Eamon Martin holds on to the ball, gives it back to Fitzpatrick. Ball being swung from corner to corner right now as Eamon gets the ball, drives into the paint, backs out, and now gives it to Daniel Bergman, who's lets the ball slip out of his hands, trying to make space for himself. Finds Eamon, who gives it to Fitzpatrick. Lions still finding a hard time to get the ball in the basket as Fitzpatrick's double teamed and the ball slips out. And Charles Prather almost causes a turnover, but Fitzpatrick's going to recover, and he's going to draw the foul from Milford. I believe it's on Mann, and it is, as the ref verifies that.
Fitzpatrick with the ball now, guarded by Carson Shields. Gus Blood sets the screen, but Shields is able to move around it. Bergman now has it at the wing, moving the ball around, trying to keep it from getting poked away. Charles bobbles it slightly, but then secures it. Eamon dribbles in, spin move, puts it up, and he makes it.
What a shot by Eamon Martin. Spinning off balance, leaning away, throws it up, and it rolls in just as smoothly like a two-handed layup. The 3 from Milford's no good. However, they're going to secure the rebound. Mann, Fitzpatrick tips it into the hands of Eamon Martin, who quickly brings it back up the other end of the court. Had Bergman open, doesn't find him. He's going to go again. He's going to miss that one. It's going to go way over the rim, right into the hands of Portwood, who brings it up the court and is guarded by Bergman, now in the hands of Mann. gets it to the wing. Shot tipped by Charles Prather. Falls back into the hands of number 4, who goes for the reverse layup. Gets fouled by Eamon Martin, and that ball somehow goes in.
Coach Spezia definitely unhappy with Eamon right now after Eamon's last miss on that layup, which probably wasn't a great shot choice. He motioned Blaze to check in, and then Eamon there foul shields as he goes up for the layup.
And I didn't know you were allowed to substitute the free throw shooter, but Shields, it's only one shot, so Shields comes off as Sawyer takes the shot, and it's good for one. Daniel Bergman finds Charles, and Daniel lets the ball go, and you can't do that this game. Milford's been jumping on the loose balls all game, but the Lions keep it, and Fitzpatrick's walking across the perimeter. Picks up his dribble, and the ball's tipped. He goes out of bounds. Lions ball. Blaze Laronia inbounding it. Finds Daniel Bergman on the other corner, who gives it to Gus Blood. A sloppy pass, recovered by Milford. In the corner, Mann takes a quick 3 and sinks that one, bringing the score 20-10 with 2:15 left in the second quarter.
You cannot pass the ball weakly in this game. When you commit to making a pass, you have to throw it hard. Otherwise, someone's just going to jump into it because the Bearcats are all so close in coverage. And now Fitzpatrick called for holding it for 5 seconds. Eamon's gonna check back into the game for number 15, Bergman.
RJ Mann making another big shot from the corner for Milford. The Lions really got to watch that corner. It was a quick shot. He got it off quickly as the ball's in the corner now. A quick jumper, no good, as Mann gets the rebounds. There's another 3 from Milford, is no good, bounces off the rim, and Eamon gets it to Fitzpatrick. Back to Eamon now. Dishes the pass off to Fitzpatrick, over to Blaze, back to Eamon on the right wing. Gives it to William Fitzpatrick. Lions slowing their ball movement down. Eamon gets the screen from Charles, gives the ball to Blaze. Blaze back to Martin. Martin over to Fitzpatrick. Ball at the top of the key. Eamon sweeps, and the ball's tipped away. Didn't go out of bounds. Milford's going to keep it.
LaFoon drives in through the defense and makes that layup. Milford now with more than double the Lions score, 22-10. Charles drives in. He has 4 players on the other side of the court. Gus Blood pump fakes, gets his shot blocked as he goes up for it.
And more sloppy passes that possession, resulting in the turnover. As LaFoon wants to run down the clock. 1 shot left, or he wants 1 shot left for Milford. Back to LaFoon, who's way outside the perimeter. We're just going to waste the clock with 17 seconds left in the first half. As Fitzpatrick tips the ball out. Nice play there. LaFoon wasn't looking. Left his guard down as Mann throws the ball over to the corner, back to Mann, who takes the shot, and that's going to be no good. The score 22-10 as the buzzer for the end of the first half rings out. The Lions back to their bad habits in the first quarter of turning the ball over, which is a result of sloppy passes and bad looks from the Lions. They really got to clean that up on offense. Their defense has really got to just spread out, watch the corners, and please tune back in about 10 minutes to watch how the Lions are going to be able to fight the second half. Until then, thank you very much for tuning in.
So we apologize for, I don't believe that you could hear the last 5 minutes. There was a lot of great broadcasting by Michael that I think just went wasted. It was actually me that turned the microphone audio off, and then it was a very simple fix that it took us a little bit of time to figure it out, but we got it back on, so we have the sound again.
As Eamon Martin is called for the 5-second violation. Another turnover for the Lions. As only one of the free throws was made by Milford. The ball passed in, and ball quickly thrown into the paint, and the refs are going to call another foul on the Lions. Number 11, Eamon Martin. As Aiden Porwood's at the free throw line shooting 2. He sinks the first one. Takes the second one and sinks that one. 25-16. As Shunk comes back into the game for Peyton Hardwood. Eamon Martin got to inbound it this time. Throws it in, and he's called again for 5 seconds. As Coach Spezia calls the timeout. I don't know what happened there. He barely got the ball into Fitzpatrick, but the ref called the 5-second violation. That's twice in a row where the Lions just weren't able to take a chance at scoring, as they were doing well in the beginning of the third quarter. Nice passes, were able to get 3 looks into the paint, put some shots up, but now they're just stalling out. They cannot let Milford get into the heads of the Lions, as number 4, Carson, has kind of been egging them on, trying to get in their heads. They just got to block that out and just play the game that they have played in the first 5 minutes of this quarter, as John Bronner checks into the game. Fitzpatrick gets his hands on the ball. It goes out of bounds. That ball was intended for Aiden Portwood, but Fitzpatrick, even though he had a strong height disadvantage, was able to get his hands on it. The ball is now inbounded to Portwood. And a moving screen by number 10, but nothing's called, as Elijah secures the rebounds. With 3 minutes left in the third quarter, Fitzpatrick bringing the ball up for the Lions offense. Eamon Martin being guarded by Shields. Fitzpatrick bobbles the pass, recovers it. Fakes the pass, gives it to Eamon Martin. The Lions finally get the ball to the middle of the court and are staying on the left side as Fitzpatrick drives into the paint. He loses control of the ball. Pass up to Carson Shields, who goes for the 2, and that's good. Eamon inbounds it to Fitzpatrick. Carson Shields steals it, and Milford misses the shot. The Shunk hit takes it, no good. Eamon Martin going the other end, goes for the 2, and is called for the travel. The Lions really got to clean up their game right now. Charles Prather comes in for Elijah. I don't know what the Lions need right now, but they need something quickly. Milford slowly starting to take the lead away.
So I've been watching the Lost offense, and what happens all the time is they keep running into these 2-man traps that the Bearcats defense is setting, but whichever defender comes in to trap the player, whoever he was guarding on the Lions, they never create space. They always just stand there, and so the defense is in between them and the player with the ball, and they can't receive the ball even though they're open. So as soon as the defender leaves someone to go play defense on the ball handler, that player needs to spread out and they need to go get open so that they can receive the pass, but that just hasn't been happening at all. Another foul call. That's going to be a block on Gus Blood.
As Carson Shields runs headlong into Gus Blood and basically runs just straight into a brick wall and hits the floor, as Gus Blood is not having any of that right now. Unfortunately, he was moving his feet, so he's called for that foul. The Lions defense really tightening up, not wanting Milford to score at all. Mulfoon gets it to Shunk, now on the wing for a big three by RJ Mann. 30-16. Lions down by 14 as Eamon taking the ball, gives it to John Bronner in the corner, gives it back to Eamon Martin. Fitzpatrick finds Gus Blood in the high post, has Fitzpatrick wide open, doesn't pass it to him, recovers it, and he's called for the charge. One of the refs signals a blocking foul, the other signals a charge. The charge is going to be called. Gus is not going to get the blocking foul. Blaze Laronia comes in for John Bronner. And Elijah comes in for Gus Blood. The Lions must be close to the bonus. There's been a lot of fouls in the third quarter as Fitzpatrick comes up with the steal. Almost loses control of his dribble. Gives it to Charles Prather, who bobbles it down at the post. And the ball's going to stay with the Lions, but the Lions still making mistake after mistake. They need to just calm down, control the ball, and not make dumb mistakes just like they did. They were moving too quickly, and Milford was just in their faces, and Charles just bobbled it and missed an opportunity to put 2 more points on the board. With a minute, 11 seconds left. Fitzpatrick has it in the corner, gets it into Elijah Hall, who gets the ball stripped from him. As Portwood gives it to LaFoon, and LaFoon lays in a layup. And a kickball on Shunk, who deflected the pass of William Fitzpatrick with his foot, as Shields comes back in along with Gus Blood. The Lions really need to get out of this rut that they're in right now if they want a chance to bring this lead of Milford to an end, as Shields is finally going to be called for the foul. He reached over, and the ref caught him with his fingers in the cookie jar as he's called for the reach and foul on Eamon Martin. Eamon gets the ball into Blaze Laronia. He finds Eamon Martin again. He had Gus Blood open, but he finds Fitzpatrick. Charles Prather's open, and Shunk comes in, steals it, and LaFoon puts in a 2, and he steals the ball as Shunk gives it to Shields in the corner. Over to LaFoon. LaFoon takes the shot, no good. Gus Blood gets the rebound over Shunk.
What a great rebound by Gus Blood. He had the ball in a strong position. The Bearcat player had it in a very awkward position. He just ripped it right out of his hands. Clock winding down. Now Fitzpatrick for 3. No good. Laronia tries to put it back. He had a little bit more time than he realized, and it's not going to be good. Score 34-16 as the Lost Salette team just kind of crumbled a little bit. They really need to recover in this fourth quarter of play.
And Milford got up. The Lions were doing well in the third quarter, and then Milford made a good play and just started to get into the heads of the Lions, and you can really see it affecting the Lions right now. They're playing a little stagnant out there. They're not playing as one unit. They're not moving the ball smoothly. They're finding a hard time controlling the ball, getting the ball into the paint, putting points up. We've seen a lot of bobbled passes, a lot of lazy passes, which have been easily picked off. A lot of turnovers this game. The Lions just really got to correct that, and they got to correct it right now in the first seconds of the fourth quarter if they want any chance of shortening this lead and making a comeback. They cannot afford for Milford to put any more points up, and they got to come out strong to begin this fourth quarter.
And a lot of that is just Milford's defense just so quick, and they're looking for the steal. And a lot of the times when teams do that, they end up fouling a lot, but Milford's done a good job at minimizing their fouls, so Lost Salette can't just sit back on its heels and hope that Milford gives them the bonus, because that's not going to happen unless the Lions draw the fouls.
The Lions have a lot of fouls right now. They cannot afford to put Milford in the bonus. as the Lions come out of the end of the third quarter period of time. I don't know what you call that, but I was going to say timeout, but we'll just call it that. It's going to be Milford's ball. Shields inbounding it. Gives it in the backcourt to R.J. Mann, who's picked up by Eamon Martin. Eamon using his body, not his hands, which is good. Not drawing the fouls. Daniel Bergman's now in the game. And Eamon strips the ball away. It's 3-on-2. Eamon gives it to Charles Prather. He bobbles the pass, gives it to Eamon. Fitzpatrick's open. Eamon turns around, goes for the layup, and that's good. He's called for the foul, too. Eamon made the shot. And he's going to get an opportunity to make, to shoot a free throw. Big play there by Eamon Martin. Got the steal aggressively, went down, gave it to Charles Prather, who gave it back to him. Laid it in for two, got fouled, and he sinks his free throw. Eamon Martin coming in clutch. That's exactly what we needed from the Lions, and it was brought by Eamon Martin. Lions need another defensive steal. They're coming up very aggressively with Shields in the wing. He runs into Charles Prather, and Milford's now in the bonus. Shields might have lowered his shoulder there. He did that earlier, but the refs are still not going to call anything. They're going to call the foul on Charles Prather, as Shields is at the line shooting two.
So this means that Milford's going to be in the bonus for virtually the entire fourth quarter. So the rest of the game, Shields makes his first free throw to put the Bearcats up by 16. Second free throw rolls around the rim, no good, and Gus Blood pounces on the rebound. Fitzpatrick has it now, guarded by Shields. He dribbles in, covered by Shunk, but he gets the pass away to Eamon Martin. Eamon looking for help, finds it in the form of Daniel Bergman, who now passes it back to him. Fitzpatrick has it at the opposite wing to Bergman in the corner. Bergman to Eamon. They need to swing the ball now and reverse it to the other side. Ball comes back to Bergman. He dribbles through the double team, picks up his dribble, throws it across the court to Eamon. Eamon has to reach up pretty high to grab that, and there's going to be a timeout called by Coach Spezia. Just seemed like every time someone had the ball, they couldn't see anyone open to pass to, and they were running into two defensive players, so they couldn't dribble.
That's not just the passer's fault. I was watching Fitzpatrick as he ran around the elbow, and he wasn't even looking at the ball. He could have popped out and gotten the ball, but he wasn't even looking. Maybe he was looking for a screen or something, but he has to keep his eyes on the ball, especially since he's one of the primary dribblers and he is the point guard. He's got to keep his eye on the ball at all times and be able to move his players around. He's got to communicate with his players. He's got to move them around. And at least on that last possession right there, he was not doing that. And as the Lions are down right now, he's really got to pick that up. It's been a physical game, not as physical as the Lions' last game against Danville, but Milford is still playing tight, up close to the Lions, not really letting them have anything, not letting them move, not letting them get across screens. They're playing tight defense. The Lions really got to adapt to that quickly. As Daniel Bergman stays into the game, along with the other four players, as Eamon inbounds. He's going to find Fitzpatrick in the backcourt. He's guarded by Shields, who he easily breaks. Gets the ball to Gus Blood, who passes it and intercepts. He could have gone straight to the hoop, but decides to pass it instead. Ball to Shields. He gets a pass off and is tipped by Daniel Bergman. Nice play there by Daniel Bergman. However, the ball is going to stay with Milford. As Shunk inbounds it, he finds Portwood. As Fitzpatrick reaches his arm in, and he's called for the foul. Bringing Portwood to the free throw line. Shooting 1-and-1. First shot's good. Again, looks like it's going out, but it falls. So he lines up for his second shot. Shakes it, and that one goes in.
But Gus Blood is going to be called for a foul there as he pushed with his elbow, and that is his 5th foul. So he is going to foul out of the game. The referees are trying to clarify whether it's a 1-and-1 or just 2 free throws straight up. It will be a 1-and-1. As RJ Mann steps to the free throw line. His first free throw is good.
You know, games like this, it really makes you appreciate the things that you don't have. We're really experiencing the loss of Matthew Romero. I do seriously think this would be a different game if Matthew was in there. Matthew's a good passer. He's able to get the pass off. And that's a big hole for the Lions right now. They had a very hard time to adapt to that. So hopefully Matthew is able to come back as soon as possible. As Fitzpatrick gets the ball to Eamon Martin. Back to Fitzpatrick. 6:01 left in the 4th quarter. The ball to the corner to Daniel Bergman. He's trying to make room for himself. He dribbles, picks it up, and gives it to Fitzpatrick. He picks up the double guard and puts Shields on his knees. Eamon takes the deep 3 and sinks that one. A shot that's been long awaited by Lions fans all night is finally hit by Eamon Martin. Ball all the way into the corner. Shields almost intercepted by Blaze. Portwood. A foul called on Charles Prather. I thought it was a block, but that's a foul, and that's Charles Prather's 5th foul as Elijah Hall subs into the game. Risky play by Charles Prather. Went for the block, called for the foul.
Elijah comes in to replace him and takes Eamon's spot in the lower space to cover the free throw. First free throw from Portwood is no good.
Yeah, and another big hit for the Lions is now Milford's in the double bonus, meaning the Lions don't have the advantage of Milford missing the first free throw. They get to shoot 2, as he does make his second one.
Number 44, Tevin Longest, checks into the game to replace Carson Shields. Eamon has a little bit of trouble finding someone to pass to, but it does get into Bergman. Another thing with these passes is it's not just about getting a strong pass, but it's also if you're on the receiving end, moving towards the ball, because even with a strong pass, if you sit back and let it come to you, one of these Milford defenders will just jump right in front and tip it away or steal it.
Nice pass on the passing talk to Eamon Martin by Fitzpatrick, who drives and is fouled. The foul's on the floor, so the shot is not going to count. Or it will count, excuse me. Eamon Martin's second and 1 shot of the night.
And this happens a lot whenever Salette gets down by a lot. Eamon just decides to take it into his own hands and just go out there and create shots and score. And he's done that the past couple plays. He had a layup, that shot there, and then the 3-pointer earlier as well.
And the referee earlier, who had called the block when the other ref called a charge, puts his foot down and says, no, this is a jump ball, when the other refs were calling for foul. So it's going to be the Lions' ball. Heyman inbounding it. Bounces it off of Milford, recovers his own pass. And it's going to be called a jump ball. A beautiful play there by Eamon Martin. Had the open shot. However, Milford was able to react soon enough and get their hands on the ball. It basically looked like all the other players on the court didn't know what was going on. Eamon really stepping up his game right now. One of the top experienced players on the court. As Fitzpatrick now with it. The Lions are still in this game as the ball's in the corner. Ball tipped away. Bad pass by Daniel Bergman. Another thing that we cannot afford. Ball in the corners to Shields. Shields, nice shuffle pass into the paint. And Shunk gets it back in the corner to number 44. He gives it back to Shunk, who takes the three, and that's going to be no good, and it's going to hit the rope at the top of the hoop, and it's going to be called out of bounds as Daniel Duggan comes in for Daniel Bergman. The Lions continuing their good offense, good defense as Eamon inbounds it. Risky pass to Elijah Hall. Nice dump pass to Daniel Duggan, who gives it to Blaze Aronia. 4-2, beautiful play there. Beautiful transition for the Lions. Daniel Duggan comes in out of nowhere from the bench, makes a beautiful pass to Blaze Aronia as Blaze Aronia tips it. He comes away, and he goes for the layup. I wanted a dunk there. I thought he was going to do it. He decides to hold on to it and stick with the layup. Didn't want to risk missing it, which was probably the smarter play. So thank you, Blaze Aronia. He sticks with the 2 points. As Shunk goes in, and he barely makes it as Laronia comes in swinging for the block. The Lions trying to crawl back with momentum as Fitzpatrick finds Blaze Laronia. The Lions quickening their pace, almost over and back, and the ref is going to call it. Eamon's foot was standing there as Daniel Duggan passes it to Eamon Martin, who is still on the other side of the court. As Milford brings in LaFoon for Shields.
The Lions have cut the deficit to 13. They're down now 28-41 with 3 minutes left. Blaze has just been a spark plug since he came in. Duggan fouls. We cannot have that because Milford's in the double bonus.
And this might be a transition from last game. Not a lot of calls were called. It was a very aggressive game. The Lions were able to reach in, were able to do things, but they cannot do that this game. The refs are not permitting anything of the sort. So the Lions really got to rein that back in as RJ Mann hits his first free throw. And he misses the second one.
Dan Duggan's going to get called for another foul for a push. So there's going to be 2 more free throws from Milford. RJ Mann again at the line. His first free throw is good.
Right now, this is not only good for the Lions. This is not only bad for the Lions because Milford's putting up points, but it's also cutting short that momentum that the Lions had. Now they're going to have to pick it back up. As Blaze Aronia gets the rebound and gives it to Eamon. He gives it to Fitzpatrick. Over to Daniel Duggan. Back to Fitzpatrick. He drives into the perimeter and gives it to Daniel Duggan in the corner, who takes a 3, which is no good. Way too far. Elijah tries to save it. It's going to be Milford's ball. As Ryan Taw is going to come in, I'm guessing for Daniel Duggan after that shot, and yes, he is. That shot was not needed right now. The Lions need to take smart shots. They do need to score quickly, but they need to take the time that they have preciously. As the ball goes off of, I guess, the knees of Elijah. No kickball called. And the pass is going to be intercepted. However, it's going to go out of bounds off the hands of RJ Mann. As Peyton Hardwood checks back into the game for Gavin Shunk. Aiming underneath the hoop, gives it to Ryan, fakes the three, nice play there, gives it to Blaze Larunya. He's gonna take the three, and that one's no good. Elijah is gonna be called for the over and back. He's going for the rebound, and Milford once again is going down to the free throw line to shoot 2 points with 2:16 left in the fourth quarter. First shot is no good. Second shot is good, as Eamon's going to take it under the hoop. And Fitzpatrick's going to take it up the court. And the reach and foul is going to be called on number 33, Aiden Portwood. Just going to stop the clock at 2:08, and it's going to be the Lions' ball at the baseline. So Eamon finds Fitzpatrick in the backcourt, who takes it past the 10-second line, assisted by the screen of Blaze Larunya. Eamon Martin takes the quick three. That one's no good. As Sawyer Laffoon comes up with the rebound and quickly takes it to the other end of the court. Laffoon gives it out to Portwood. And Laffoon's going to drive in and do a reverse layup for two. As the Milford Bearcats continue to score. Fitzpatrick gives it to Ryan, who gives it back to Eamon. He's at the top of the key. Drives in. Goes up, and again, the hard hit to the floor is fouled. His shot does not fall this time, but he's going to go to the free throw line, shooting 2 shots, hopefully putting the Lions at 30 points. First shot is no good, off the front of the rim.
It's a rarity from Eamon to see a missed free throw. His second free throw is good, though, to make the score 46-29.
As Shunk being tightly guarded by Fitzpatrick. Gets the ball back and gives it to the corner. Nice pass into the paint, and the ball's tipped away. Elijah Hall comes up with that. The Lions got to move quickly. Eamon Martin drives in, takes it in, and third and one of the game as he goes in, gets fouled, and makes the shot. The shot counts, and he's going to be taking 1 free throw. With 1 minute and 4 seconds left. As the Lions bring the score 32-46. As Coach Spezio wants a full court press, the Lions don't bring it. As Eamon tips the ball out from Shunk, and Ryan's going to be called for the foul. Shunk's going to the free throw line for 2. Coach Spezio talking to William Fitzpatrick and Ryan Tal, possibly wanting them to bring a full court press for the last 53 seconds. And I don't know why we haven't been doing a full court press, especially in this fourth quarter. I do think we have the speed. Blaze Larunya can cover the back of the hoop. We could have possibly gotten a couple steals, but Coach Spezia decided that that's not what he wanted, as Blaze Larunya comes up with the rebounds. And Eamon Martin is going to take it past the 10-second line. Spins around, goes into the paint again. This time his shot's going to be tipped away. Might have been a travel there, nothing called. Shunk with it, gives it to Shields. Shields picks up his dribble, gives it into the corner. Number 44, trying to make some space. Gives it to the corner to Shunk, who drives into the paint, kicks it out to Shields as they hold the ball with 25 seconds left. Portwood in the corner with it. Into the paint, and out to Shunk. 15 seconds. Milford just running down the clock. And the ball tipped by Fitzpatrick. Eamon comes up with it. Last shot of the game, most likely. Eamon goes in, and that's going to roll in. Good for two, 34-47 as the clock winds down and the buzzer rings for the end of the game. Final score, 47-34. The Lions are not able to come up with this one. However, they'll have another opportunity to possibly take the victory as they will play Westville on January 28th. Please tune in to that game. But until then, these are your broadcasters, Kevin Quigley and Michael McCall. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great evening.